What does it mean when you dream about a flag? Imagine going to sleep on July the 3rd, and when you wake up on July the 4th, you had these amazing images of American flags in your head. This, of course, has something to do with the 4th of July, Independence Day, and it's not a surprise that a lot of people who dream about a flag in their nighttime visions simply disregard their dream. They don't think anything about the dream. They just say to themselves, the meaning of a dream about a flag is that I dreamt about a flag. No biggie. Well, you might want to think twice, because generally speaking, when you dream about a flag, and it can be any flag. It doesn't have to be the U.S. flag. It can be the flag of Japan, Canada, the Philippines, or whatever country you're from, or whatever country you're familiar with. It can be any flag. But any flag can symbolize issues of national identity. Now, please understand that is very different from personal identity. Your personal identity separates you from people around you. It is what makes you special. Your personal identity. It's like your fingerprint. Your national identity, on the other hand, has a broader framework because it's your identity framed within the identities of the people that you live with in a particular political entity called your country. This national identity is actually often overlooked, and a lot of people don't place much attention to it when it comes to dream analysis. They're thinking, I was just born in the United States, or I was born in a particular country. This really doesn't have that much of an impact as to my dreams. You might want to think again, because a sense of unity, a sense of belonging, all of these interact in ideas about national identity. It's not just a question of which passport you carry when you travel. It also impacts who you think you are, what you're capable of, and who you can rely on in terms of modeling behavior, or the people whose achievements have come before you and whose achievements act as some sort of standard or model for your own behavior and accomplishments in life. This is a big deal. But a lot of people think that since this has something to do with politics and their dreams are by nature personal, that such political dreams really don't have much meaning at all. You might want to reconsider that, because in terms of personal impact, when you dream of a flag, it really boils down to a sense of belonging and the need to be recognized, to be seen as part of a larger group with its own specific destiny, identity, and cultural outlook. So, if we were to break it down, what makes you uniquely you is not just the fact that you have unique experiences, that you see the world from your own unique set of eyes. That's well and good, but you're part of your family. Your family has a specific experience, has a specific background. And your family is part of a larger community. It could be your neighborhood, it could be the district of the city your neighborhood is in, it could be the larger city that you live in, it could be the region surrounding the city, and finally, it could be part of a province, a state, or a prefecture, and going from there, it's part of a nation state. Do you see how this all works? It all begins with you. It all begins with your unique conception of who you are, what you're capable of, but you're not an island. You're not a speck of dust that is all-powerful in of yourself. You're not atomized. You're part of a larger consciousness. So there is such a thing as an American perspective, just as there is such a thing as a Japanese or Spanish or Korean perspective. So it's very confusing for a lot of people to analyze their dreams in terms of these larger and larger concentric circles of consciousness. But there is such a thing as national consciousness, and your flag dreams are trying to draw your attention to the fact that you should be more aware of this, because this has a very important impact on how you see the world, as well as your personal capabilities within the world and your sense of responsibility for the things that are happening. What does it mean to dream of a flag in a foreign country? This is kind of a weird dream to have, because you see a flag that is probably not even the flag of your own country, and on top of that, you are visiting a foreign country. These kinds of dreams can be very tricky, because it could be the flag of Korea, for example, and you are visiting China. So what would that mean? It would make a lot of sense if you see the Korean flag and you're visiting Seoul, South Korea. That would make sense. Well, when you see a flag in a foreign country in your dreams, all your subconscious is telling you is that you need to explore new cultures. You need to explore new ways of looking at things, and don't be afraid to do mashups. If you've been to YouTube, one of the most entertaining genres of videos on YouTube involve taking one musical act with its own specific genre, like let's say reggae, and then mixing that up with disco or heavy metal. It's a hoot. It's a lot of fun, and it makes for some funny combinations, but it pushes your appreciation for culture. It bends and twists your definition of what it means to be a part of a larger culture. And the end result really is that it broadens your horizons. It makes you less biased. And it also enables you to look at different cultures as sources of different solutions that we all solutions to problems that we all share. So engaging in a cultural exchange program or binge watching different videos on YouTube regarding a specific culture can go a long way in helping you really fulfill the underlying message of dreaming of a flag in a foreign country. What does it mean to dream of a flag being raised or lowered? If you see a flag being raised or lowered, this indicates a sense of triumph, victory, or a sense of accomplishment in your personal life. You raise a flag to let people know. You don't hide the flag. So this signifies that you have achieved something in an area of your life, and you shouldn't be humble about it. Now, this doesn't mean that you should be obnoxious and be flamboyant or just put your accomplishment in people's faces or keep mentioning it with every single word, but you shouldn't hide it either. A lot of people who have this kind of dream often suffer from forced humility. It's as if you were raised in a family where talking about your accomplishments is looked down upon. You're considered low class, or you're rude or crude when you do that. So you internalize all of this, and when you achieve real victories in your life, you are almost embarrassed about them. Your subconscious is telling you, when you raise or lower a flag or see the raising or lowering of a flag in your dreams, to embrace your sense of accomplishment. There's nothing to be ashamed about. There's nothing to worry about. You're doing something that people wish they could do. So this is something to be proud of. No need to be embarrassed. No need to be ashamed. On the flip side, when you see a flag being lowered, this can indicate a loss of prestige, surrender, or feeling diminished. You have to understand that the world is not perfect. You can't always win. So if you can accept your sense of victory, and you can accept that it's okay to be proud of your accomplishments, you should also accept that from time to time, a healthy sense of embarrassment is necessary. Now, pay close attention to what I said. It has to be a healthy sense of embarrassment. Because when you feel embarrassed, when you feel shamed to a certain extent, it means you have pride. It means you have standards. It means that you believe that there is some sort of model for proper behavior, proper actions, and a standard for quality. This is not a bad thing. Now, a lot of people shy away from shame because they think it's just completely bad. No, it actually motivates you to do the right thing, even when people are not looking. It gives you an internal standard because you don't want to feel shame. You don't want to feel embarrassed. So it has utility. So when you see a flag being lowered, this indicates that you need to develop a healthier sense of shame because it indicates that you are a person of dignity and real pride. You watch yourself. You give your best to whatever you commit to because you don't want to be embarrassed. These are good things. Of course, you shouldn't overdo it, but generally speaking, these are good things. What does it mean to dream of a flag being torn or damaged? If your nighttime vision involves a flag being damaged or torn and it's the central focus of your dream, this can indicate that there is some sort of disunity that you are sensing on a subconscious level in whatever group you're a member of. It can be your group of friends, it can be your family, it could be your coworkers, whatever the case may be, your subconscious is picking up signals of disunity. Maybe you just don't see eye to eye. Maybe you have different goals. Maybe you think that certain actions that you take on a day-to-day basis don't really move the needle, while the other people think that you are having a heavy impact, but in the worst way possible. So you're not seeing eye to eye. And it's important to be aware that this is happening because unfortunately, for a lot of people, we tend to wear blinders. We tend to hang out with people who would tell us things that make us feel good, and to give us the impression that whatever we're doing, we're doing fine. But in reality, things are shaping up to the point that something will blow up in our face because we've been stepping on other people's toes for so long. And which leads me to the next interpretation of this type of dream. When you see a flag being torn or damaged, it can indicate conflict that has been brewing for a long time. Usually people will only notice deep conflicts in their family as well as in their social groups and work when it's too late. It's already bubbled over. It's already manifested itself in open warfare. And all of this, of course, translates to a loss of direction because you're sensing disunity and you're sensing conflict, so you don't know where to go. You don't know what is the right path, and this can lead to a negative feedback loop where your lack of direction leads to even more conflict, both external and internal, and the disunity gets deeper and deeper until it blows up in your face. This is a red flag kind of dream. And I say that with pun intended. Sit up and pay attention when you have this type of dream and try to do some sort of psychological and emotional audit on yourself to see where that disunity is coming from and where that conflict originates. What does it mean to dream of a flag being waved or fluttering? If you see a waving or fluttering flag, the flag is in full bloom. The flag is at the height of its power. It's doing its job. And in this context, the flag symbolizes enthusiasm, excitement, and a sense of freedom. What your subconscious is calling you to action for is to put a lot more of yourself in whatever it is you do. Because if you do that, you will lead your team to greater results. You will be looked at as an asset instead of a liability. This is a good thing. And what the flag dream in this context is trying to tell you is that you should be completely present in whatever you do. You don't have to be the very best. You don't have to give it 1,000%. Just give it 100%, and that's fine. By being fully present, you increase the likelihood of getting more from the experience, mastering that activity, and eventually producing the outcome that you're looking for. Of course, you cannot hit a home run the first time you swing that bat. It happens from time to time, but chances are when it's your turn, it's probably not going to happen. So the key is to just keep showing up, to keep learning, to understand what's going on, and eventually your proficiency and competency will start to increase. This is the kind of enthusiasm that you need to bring to the table, because it eventually leads to a positive feedback loop. The better you feel about yourself, the better you will perform, the more risks you will take, and the more likely you will be able to scale up your skills and perform even better, which makes you feel even better, and the process repeats itself again and again. It's an upward spiral. This is called the positive feedback loop. The reverse is also true. So don't do things that make you feel lousy to the point that you underperform, which leads to another chain reaction of worse and worse performance. Just a quick reminder, if you are enjoying this video, please click the like button and hit subscribe. Please be sure to click the bell notification icon so you don't miss any of our updates. Thank you for joining us in this video. Now back to our dream analysis. What does it mean to dream of a flag being used as a symbol of protest? Usually, when flags are flown the right way up, it means that the flag proclaims to the world that things are going well with the country. Now, if you were to fly that same flag upside down, that's a symbol of distress. It's also a symbol of protest. You're saying to the world that there's something fundamentally wrong happening in your country, and to let the world know that you are upset about the situation or that you don't agree with the situation, you fly the flag upside down. In the United States, the U.S. flag, aka the Union flag, is often shown upside down when there is some sort of popular protest or when there is some sort of civil disturbance. It's a sign of distress. When you see this in your dream, your subconscious is telling you that you know that there are certain things wrong in many areas of your life, and you desire a change. You want to challenge what keeps you stuck. You want to challenge these assumptions and expectations that you have. And this is how you move your life forward. In this context, when you see a flag being used as a symbol of protest, it's actually a good sign, because you are stepping into your situation seeking to resolve it. You're not pointing fingers. You're not trying to find somebody to blame, and you're definitely not looking for an escape. This is a good step in the right direction. What does it mean to dream of a flag being displayed in a public place? You might be thinking that if you have this type of contextual dream, that there's really nothing much happening, because a lot of flags are by design supposed to be displayed in a public place. So what does this type of dream mean? This indicates that you have within you, at least on a subconscious level, a desire for recognition. You want to be validated. But not any kind of validation, mind you. Not a personal type of validation, but validated in the sense that you're part of a larger community, that you're doing your role. Usually people who have this type of dream are engaged in some sort of community program, or they're part of a larger work group. And usually this type of dream appears when there's some sort of conflict regarding who to give credit for, or who is going to be recognized as part of the group that produced some sort of achievement or outcome. It can also indicate that either you are grabbing credit or somebody's grabbing credit from you. So you may want to be on the lookout for that kind of issue. What does it mean to dream of a flag being worn as a symbol of allegiance? When you see a flag as an armband or a pin, this indicates issues of loyalty, commitment, and a sense of belonging. If you're having a tough time fitting in at school or at work, maybe a lot of this has to do with the fact that you haven't really fully committed to working there or going to school there. You haven't really fully committed to the people who have sacrificed a lot to make that place work. Do you see the conflict? Do you see the disconnect? What this type of dream really speaks to is that you get out what you put in. If you're unwilling to commit to a project or to be completely loyal to a group of people, what gives you the right to expect loyalty from them and expect an open embrace from them to the point that you belong? You really can't expect that because you didn't make the first move. You didn't invest into the organization or the larger community. So don't think that people are being disloyal to you because they're under no obligation if you yourself haven't committed, haven't sacrificed, and haven't displayed loyalty. Remember, it's a two-way street out there. You get out what you put in. You reap what you sow. So make that first move and make it count. What does it mean to dream of a flag being burned or destroyed? In the United States, it's perfectly legal for protesters to destroy a flag by burning it. That's covered by the free speech protection of the U.S. Constitution. Still, legalities aside, when people see the flag of their country, the same flag that a lot of soldiers throughout history have sacrificed their blood, sweat, and tears for, it's understandable that people get upset. It's understandable for people to feel that you are somehow disrespecting all their hard work. You're not just stomping on a flag, nor are you just burning it. You can claim that it's your property, but it wouldn't matter. Their feelings matter because either they or somebody they love gave their all for their country, and here you are destroying and burning it because you have a point, and your point is you're demanding change and you're exercising your rights. And this is where the paradox comes in. A lot of the times, for a principle to come to life, its symbol has to be destroyed. I hope you are able to read between the lines. And I hope you're able to connect the dots. Because that idea that I just shared with you applies in many areas of your life. And so many people have spiritual lives that are ritualistic, routine, and ultimately dead. By refusing to challenge the symbol, they fail to see the life behind the symbol. And if you keep this up long enough, they just see an empty symbol. Symbols exist because they point to a higher reality. A flag, regardless of country, is just a piece of cloth. That's all it is. If its symbolic nature is removed. But if everybody agrees as to what that symbolic meaning is, that flag is more than just a piece of cloth. It represents the ideals of that country. It represents the spilled blood of the patriots of that country, and so on and so forth. I hope you understand what this analysis is pointing to. That there are many rituals in your life, and if you just allow them to be flat rituals established a long time ago without challenging, so you can understand the philosophy, the meaning, the idea behind the ritual or symbol, you're missing out. And it's very easy for your faith to be shaken. It's very easy for you to lose your belief in the larger vision that the people around you share, because you're looking at everything as just an empty ritual, just as an empty series of symbols. But they're more than symbols, just as a flag is more than a piece of cloth with an interesting combination of colors. It means something. And when you have this type of dream of a flag being burned or destroyed, your subconscious is trying to wake you up, because you need to move past the empty symbols, the shallow interpretation, and just go to the meat of why things have value in many areas of your life. Thank you for watching this video. We appreciate your support. If you haven't already done so, please click the like button and hit subscribe. Please be sure to click the bell notification icon so you don't miss any of our updates. If you have any dreams that you'd like us to interpret and analyze, please leave the details in the comments. Don't leave any personally identifying information, and we will come up with a custom interpretation video just for your dreams. We read every comment, so please enter your dreams in our comment section. To support our mission of helping people from all over the world live their best lives by tapping the power of their dreams, please click the share button and share this video on all your social media accounts. Thank you so much for joining us on this video about flags. See you on the next video.